Welcome back to Anonymous Addiction Deprogramming Podcast. Yeah, we have no clickbaits. I have no thumbnails. Sorry about that. Today we're going to be getting into controversial topics because not a lot of people talk about this. People are going to be, Bobby, are you a prohibitionist? Why are you talking about the alcohol industry? You know, you've been in Alcoholics Anonymous long enough to know we're not supposed to have talk about controversial outside issues. Well, I'm going to start talking about it big time because I'm tired of giving the alcohol industry a pass and putting everything on. Look, I'm going to get into it. Let's get into the definition of conspiracy first. Yeah, I think most things are conspiracies. Okay, am I a conspiracy theorist? Yes. An agreement between two or more people, groups, companies. Now, I'm going to be labeling this why the alcohol industry loves Alcoholics Anonymous and Netflix. And I'm going to describe why this is. Okay. It's going to be very interesting. So please stay tuned. Stay with us for a while here. Um, an agreement between two or more people, groups, or companies, government, etc., to commit an illegal or tortious act. Now, tortious act, tortious. Look it up. Tortious, tortious act, or to achieve a legal end through unlawful means. Now, I don't know if it's immoral, more or less not unlawful, because look, let's be serious here for a minute here. Alcoholics Anonymous is a minute cult compared to the globalist cults of the world. Okay. So we're going beyond Alcoholics Anonymous, the cult of Alcoholics Anonymous. I've done so many podcasts on that. Check them all out. You're on this channel right now. If you're listening, you can check out all the videos breaking down this. Why Alcoholics Anonymous, why the alcohol industry loves AA and Netflix to achieve tortious acts. Tortious, the definition, wrongful, improper, immoral, a civil wrong that causes harm and allows for lawsuits. Describes the conduct. Everybody gives everybody gives the alcohol industry a pass. When the world suffers grave consequences, devastating consequences, and I'm going to get into it, the world consequences of alcohol use put out by the alcohol industry. Okay, look, there's 1.7 million alcoholic anonymous alcoholics meetings, Alcoholics Anonymous meetings, 1.7 million. It's a minute. Now, I'm not discounting that there's many different platforms that are still deprogramming Alcoholics Anonymous, and they continue to do that. Bobby C will, I'm going to embed it into the rest of the deprogramming everything, the global cultist in the world. I'll come back and forth into it, but I'm going beyond that. This is Deprogramming Everything podcast. Um, Anheuser-Busch InBev, AB InBev, Anheuser-Busch, the world's largest brewer, headquarters in Belgium. Their profits, 60 billion a year. Heineken, everybody knows Heineken, and the holdings, second global revenue, 30 billion a year. Diageo, 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 third largest British multinational, known for a lot of their liquor. Okay, controlled most. I think P. Diddy was involved with promoting the vodka, and they were suing P. Diddy. I think they had something to do with going after him, tell you the truth. Check that out. So we're talking about throughout the alcohol industry globally, beyond the three biggest, you're talking $2 trillion in profit. Now they don't. It's a. We've been indoctrinated. Society has been indoctrinated for forever, believing that the alcohol industry has has nothing to do with the big problem. The problem is us, Alcoholics Anonymous. Me. I was labeled an alcoholic. I had a disease, right? So they tell us Alcoholics Anonymous. That was indoctrinated. That was fake. That was brought just exactly the way the cult was designed through Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous. We'll get into what NA, why Big Pharma loves NA. Big Pharma actually loves harm reduction too, and the new alternative programs. And I'm going to say that, I might lose some viewers on that, but look, we got to be real about certain things. Just because I'm pointing out some things, we have to have an open mind. We can't be stuck like in Alcoholics Anonymous. They say there's an open mind. No, Alcoholics Anonymous is closed-minded. So when we go outside the box, we still have to be open-minded about a lot of different things. Not to shut off reality, not to shut off the truth. Big money, 2 trillion. You're talking about 1.7 million. Alcoholics Anonymous is the scapegoat of the alcohol industry, and they created it that way. Let's get into scapegoat. Look up scapegoat. A group blamed for the faults, problems, or misdeeds of the alcohol uh, industry. Yeah, we're blamed for it because it's not the alcohol, it's us. We're diseased. We got a substance use disorder, you know, uh, substance use disorder or alcohol use disorder. They changed it from disease. It's still called a brain disease. There's no such thing as a brain disease. Okay. They made us a scapegoat, took the responsibility, a scapegoat, acting as the target to deflect responsibility. Alcoholics Anonymous, they deflect responsibility. Alcoholics, they, they're diseased. It's not the alcohol. Scapegoat. Avoid personal responsibility and maintaining power. Let's see. Yeah, if you're allergic, you got an allergy, you have a disease, you have a disorder. The DSM tells you so. It's generational. Oh, it may skip a generation. It's not the alcohol industry's problem. They they suffer no consequences for the uh, devastating consequences that it has on the impact of the world. And I'll get into that. You know, 4.3 million in the third quarter to influence federal regulations on taxes, tariffs, dietary guidelines. 30 out of 44 uh, of the lobbyists held control by the alcohol industry. 30 out of 44 ex-government jobs. Ex-government jobs. Mm-hmm. So the lobbyists control the lawmakers. Look, let's admit it. The rich and powerful made the laws up, and the rich and powerful break the laws. And I'm going to get into that. How they get a pass on that too. Because they buy their it's a fines, lawsuits, anything like that. That's just the cost of doing business. They got so much money, they don't care. When the industry's making 2 trillion, they don't care. Half the hey, look, Half the world's population drinks alcohol. Just take that in for a minute. Half the world's population drinks alcohol. Okay. There's 2.4 billion people worldwide. Now we're talking about the code of Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm going to start getting into the real big cults of the world. The cult of Alcoholics Anonymous, beyond the cult of Alcoholics Anonymous. Half the consumption, let's see, there's 3 million deaths annually. 3 million deaths annually from alcohol. The global impact is immense. Considered the deadliest drug due to the world spread legal consumption. It's everywhere. Big Farm's worse. It's everywhere. You know, when I was a kid, when I was growing up, there was only liquor in a liquor store. Never seen it anywhere else. Grocery stores. No. Is the problem got worse? I'm talking when I was a kid. So let's just say, you know, when I was 6 years old, that's 70 years ago. When I was 16, 60 years ago. Yeah, I'm 76. I'm getting old. And there's not too many old people getting on the internet and talking about this stuff. You know, I think more should be. I got one, I was doing a podcast with Sobriety Bestie and Kirsten, and I got one comment. Oh, he's just a baby boomer. He wants to be cool. See, more old people need to start talking about this stuff before we die. Okay? Because the average, the amorze, or how do you say it? The death rate is usually, 76. Men live to be about 76. I'm 76. If I live another 10 years, I'll be so grateful. I'm grateful now that I've lived this long. I am very grateful that I lived this long. And I have a lot of history. I've been around the alcohol and drug community for over 42 years. Over 42 years. Is there too many people that can say that? Yeah, there are. But most of them are still in Alcoholics Anonymous, probably. How many came out and start speaking out after they came out? Old, you want to call me an old fart, or, back then I gave up. I could have been a elder statesman. No, I chose to be a bleeding deacon. I spoke out a lot of times in Alcoholics Anonymous, just as I'm going to speak out outside of Alcoholics Anonymous. Some people don't want to hear the controversial topics that I'll be talking about because we want to stay in this little bubble, and God forbid, don't listen to a baby boomer, you know. Coffee, I love it. This is a legacy. Look, when I die, at least my kids could go on this here and look me up and hear some things. You know, I think that's a cool thing. Netflix is good. It's a cool thing. Let's get back into this, okay? Now, the global impact considered the deadliest drug due to the widespread legal and consumption. When the alcohol industry gets sued, say 5 million, it's the cost of doing business. That's what I'm talking about. The fines, move on. You just pay the fine. Okay, they're making $2 trillion a year, the industries. You know, Anheuser-Busch, 60 billion this year. Fined. It's like a parking ticket. It's like the rich. When the super wealthy get, Andrew Tate was talking about this, and I'm not crazy about him. Okay, it's money, money, and we're peons because we're not smoking cigars all day long and drinking coffee all day long, and we're not lifting weights. And he's got so many cars. I really, I get turned off by him. Yeah, Andrew. But I mean, they get a pass. because the rich don't care. Rich don't even care about parking tickets because it's just they just pay the fines. They get fined, they just pay the fines. They go to court, they pay the fines. They get sued, they pay the fines. They move on. Pharmaceutical industry, I'm going to be doing a podcast on that. It's twice as bad as the alcohol industry. They get sued. I think they actually get sued more. Alcoholics, the alcohol industry gets a pass. We're getting into even more. Listen, this scapegoats. Just remember, scapegoats. Okay. Here's the Netflix, the big alcohol and AA. Here we go. Okay. 2025, last year, because I watch Netflix all the time. I can see I can see shit on Netflix now. I can see the veil has been lifted and I can see it all. I like movies. I like shows. Okay. I'm going to be doing a podcast on The Sopranos because I just got back in. I watched The Sopranos in 1999. Okay. We had to wait a week to watch it. Okay. We didn't get it streaming. We had to wait 1 week each week to watch it. Now I could watch a month in 2 hours. I'm watching them again. I just signed up for HBO because I like the HBO Max. I like to see all the where the programming is. It's educational for me because I decipher, I put the puzzles together just by watching it. Sopranos, back then, you're talking 26 years ago. Crazy how the indoctrination of psychiatric drugs and therapy, smoking constantly, drinking constantly, the programming that was going on that I wasn't even aware of back then. I was ignorant. Ignorant just means I didn't have the knowledge. I was ignorant about a lot of things back then, and I was being programmed back then. But luckily, I got way beyond the triangle and started to deprogram a lot of the lot. I, I'm s- It's not like I'm cured with this deprogramming stuff. Okay, because I've been reprogramming all the lies of the world for a while now, but I have to admit I have more to go. Okay. Netflix 2025. AB, which is Anheuser-Busch, announced a major partnership. Did you know this? A major partnership to promote Budweiser, Corona, Stella Artois. That's how you say it. I had to look it up. Stella Artois. Everybody sees the fancy bottle. Netflix partnered up with Anheuser-Busch. Yeah. And you don't think they're promoting their agenda constantly, constantly? And why do they have AA meetings? Uh, I would say almost half of Netflix, HBO's mention the word alcoholic, alcoholism, and have AA meetings and NA meetings embedded into their character. Yeah, Netflix incorporates meetings into the programming primarily as dramatic device to showcase character addictions, recovery journeys, and to explore alternative. No, I, 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 I can, I can't name them because I forget. I forget the names of things, but there was so many Netflix movies that the meetings were a big part of the whole movie. AA meetings. This one's AA. Now they go to AA. Remember, Alcoholics Anonymous is a scapegoat. They got a disease. Why the rest of the population, the rest of us, the half, not us, but half of the world, the other half of the world that drinks, and on the show that they're all drinking, they don't have a problem. You see them going out, you see them going out driving, you see them leaving the bars. They don't have a problem. Only the the characters that they put into Alcoholics Anonymous meetings have the problem because they're diseased. They're the scapegoat. Remember, scapegoat, deflecting the responsibility from the alcohol industry. And while they're promoting constant alcohol scenes, constant. I'm saying constant. They don't have a problem. It's AA, NA, AA and NA. So that's the scapegoat because there's only 1.7 million out of the world. What I say the world population was? Huh? 2.4 billion people? Look, alcohol industry spends 7.7 billion every year on advertisement. Every year. That's after, that's deducting that from the profit. They spend it on placement of product, 6.4 million in ads. Look, comprehensive marketing, product placement, co-marketing campaigns like with Netflix, sports. Unbelievable. Bobby, what are you a prohibitionist? Why do you want to badmouth the alcohol industry? Drink, you're allowed to drink. It's, power of choice. You could choose to do anything you want. I'm not saying I'm telling you what to do. I'm not telling you anybody what to do, what not to do. I'm just talking about some truths that I found and I'm relaying it onto Netflix. I'm just a random YouTube guy. You don't believe me? Then don't listen or check it out yourself to find out the facts because that's what we're all supposed to be doing with this shadow work, right? We're all supposed to be, we're all investigative journalists, right? We're all research journalists. We're all have this ability through free will and power of choice to either you do what you want to do. Okay. I'm just putting out some facts for maybe your grandchildren or your children to say that I'm going to get into more. There's more. There's more coming. Okay. Please stay tuned. And don't forget to subscribe. Please. Thank you. Comment. Yeah. They incorporated sobriety, the word sobriety. What is it? Sobriety means sober means not drunk, calm. I'm in sobriety. How in the hell can you be in sobriety? Sobriety, recovery. I'm in recovery. If you're in recovery, get in discovery. Go from uncovering, recovering to discovering the truth about ourselves, society, AA, big alcohol, big pharma. Discover the truth about society and the world and the universe. That's what we're into. That's what this channel's all about. This channel's all about discovering the truth. And there is truth. People say there's subjective truth, just my truth. No, it's not my truth. There is immutable, objective truth in the world. You can't deny it. Yeah, I'll do it. Here's some of the get a DUI. Poor person, poor girl. She she goes to a baseball game or she goes to a bar or she, whatever, goes to a bar, has a couple drinks. Don't even don't even drink. I mean, look, every half the population drink alcohol. They're not addicted. I understand that. They're not addicted to alcohol, but I'll get into the facts of how many really are that we call substance use disorder. We'll get into that in the next page, I guess. She gets out. She gets out of the bar. I had somebody personally close to me that I guided them through their process of DUI. Lawyers. You get a DUI, you're talking school 10, you're talking money, you're talking 300 here, 400 there, 1,000 there. You're talking court prices, insurance, SS 3 years, SS 22. Yeah, insurance. Jack it up. It's twice or three times more. Watch yourself. Nobody talks about this. You see any commercials telling people, you see any education in schools, because school system is indoctrination. It's a cult. School systems, media, government, religion, the alcohol industries, the pharmaceutical industry, tobacco industry, big tobacco. More to come. I'm telling you, there's just stay tuned. This is something to pass on to that's mandatory programs. You're court mandated. They tell you you got to go to AA. Oh, now they're saying, oh, you could go to a smart recovery meet. Go try to find an in-person smart recovery. Oh, they're all online now. You got to put in your certificates. You got to show proof. You got to have them sign. Yeah, the people that have been, I was the breathalyzer. You want to drive? Put a breathalyzer in your. That's another $300. That's like 80 bucks a month just to have that installed, plus a 150 up front. This is for the first DUI. And there's people that had five of them. But the alcohol industry has nothing to do with them. It only has to do with the people because we're not socially, the societies are not indoctrinated. We're not victims of this indoctrination. And I use that word victim. I'll get into that a little further into this here. Not much further, but I'll get into that. This victimhood, victim mentality. I don't have a victim. I was, I can acknowledge it. I was a victim of this societal indoctrination, labeled me alcoholic. Yeah. So I was indoctrinated by many, the religion. I wasn't a victim of my mother's indoctrination. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mandatory programs, cost. What's responsible does the alcohol industry hold? Where is their responsibility? MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Mothers Against the Alcohol Industry. Who was that? You know who that was? I'm going to tell you who it was. It was the temperance movement way back in the 1800s. The women, they really cared. I hate to tell you, but the temperance means moderation. Okay. And temperance also means abstinence. People love the alternative recovery and recovery programs. Love to say abstinence isn't the gold standard. Well, not using alcohol and drugs, I would imagine, not imagine, I know for a fact. I'm just going to blade out and say it. Do I promote that to everybody? No. I'm saying it's the most healthiest way to maintain it is through not doing it. It's the most healthy. It's proven. It's the most. Now, is it the only way? No, you can do it any way you want. You can do it any way you want. Back then, it was called the temperance movement. Yeah, women were mad against drunk drivers, pissed off about the drunk drivers. Okay. And I'm pissed off about them too. Okay. I'm pissed off about them and I'm pissed off about the alcohol industry even more. Okay. I'm going to say it. Everybody's the government, man, that the town, they're making money off of the people that are drinking, and Alcoholics Anonymous is, I mean, I keep on saying, the alcohol industry gets away with murder. It gets away with murder. High risk auto insurance, crazy. Okay, 2025, 865,000 DUI arrests in the U.S. You know the money that's made? Does anybody ever say, No, of course you can't talk about that because if you talk about the alcohol industry, you're like demonized, marginalized. You're like, how dare you talk about something that is celebrated? It's everywhere. Remember I said when I was a kid, it's everywhere, everywhere you go. It's the biggest advertising marketing campaign in the world, I would say. It's everywhere, right? And it's celebrated. The commercials, it's such a beautiful, it's a really immoral, evil way to promote to children, women, human beings in the whole world. You know, that excessive alcohol use causes 178,000 deaths a year just in the United States. Uh, 60% domestic violence indicates 300,000 to 500,000 violent assaults between initial intimate partners being using drugs or alcohol. 92% of domestic assaults, alcohol, spousal abuse, the diseases that it causes. Yeah, it's not a disease, but alcohol use disorder. It's not a disease or a disorder. It's a habit. We we start a habit, it becomes an addiction, and we uncreate the habit by our own will. Let's always remember that the rich make the rules, and the rich are the biggest breaker of all the rules. Okay. Remember, there are only 1.2 million alcohol use addiction people in Alcoholics Anonymous. Okay. 1.2. Alcohol, one of the deadliest substances, overall deaths and social impact due to its widely availability and social acceptance. It causes chronic diseases. Yeah, it causes diseases. There's no question about it. Causes many diseases. Now I'm going to get into something why Rockefeller, you know, they love this because Alcoholics Anonymous has, the steps, controls the body, mind, and spirit, like alcohol. Alcohol, look up the definition. It's a body eating spirit. Okay. It's a mind, body eating, mind, body, spirit, flesh eating. Because, look, I know I sound like I'm demonizing alcohol, and I am because it is a deadly disease. I mean, a deadly toxic carcinogen. It's a poison. There's no question about it. I'm just speaking the truth. Okay. The uncomfortable truth versus the convenient lie, which everybody, the convenient lie is all on the sports commercials. That's a convenient lie that it's beautiful. It makes you happy and yeah. Alcohol is a solution to some things for a little bit, a little while. It's a solution to get out of our heads, get out of responsibility, make us feel better because of some trauma. It's a little release. But in the end, here, I'll go to the 10th tradition of Alcoholics Anonymous. You ever hear this? I mean, some people don't even know the traditions. They've been in Alcoholics Anonymous for years and they're deprogramming it, but they never even heard the traditions. 10th tradition. No AA group or member should ever, in such a way as to implement Alcoholics Anonymous, expressing any opinion on outside controversial issues, particularly in politics. Don't talk about the government, how they the biggest lobbyists, and they're in the bed, they're in the pockets. The government is in the pockets of the alcohol industry, big pharma industry, tobacco industry. Come on. Let's let's get real about this stuff for 1 minute. Controversial, particularly those politics, alcohol reform. Don't talk about alcohol reform. No, that sounds like the temperance movement or prohibition. That prohibition thing was they made more money during the prohibition. There were so many grafts, and the rich were making all kinds of money. Even the politicians. The Roaring Twenties. I do many podcasts about that. Just to touch base, I did a podcast with Tara Grace over there at Burn the Stigma. I hope she puts out that that one podcast that we did. I just texted her and asked her to send me over the MP4 so I could put it out here because the last one I did, my computer was so messed up you can't even make out anything I'm saying. Tara, please put it out. Thank you. Let's see. Oh yeah, alcohol kills more than every illegal drug combined. Yeah, is it one of the quickest, deadliest, fastest? No, fentanyl is. One death every 3 minutes. Yet we toast it daily, treat it as normal, and then they pay the scientists to make it believe that it's healthy. Glass of wine is healthy for you. And it might be, I don't know, glass of wine. People that drink, everybody that drinks does not become addicted. There's people that, but here's the thing I want to get to, and I could do a podcast just on this. Just because you're not in Alcoholics Anonymous, that doesn't mean you're not addicted to alcohol or cigarettes or drugs. Just because you drink 3 drinks every once a week, or if you drink 3 drinks every 3 times a day, that doesn't mean you're not addicted to it. Consumption, the amount of consumption doesn't equate to addiction. I was addicted to I just quit smoking cigarettes again. I started to smoke these uh, other things like little cigars, one a day, two a day, one a day. I was doing cigarettes 2 a day. I just quit them. It's been a month now I quit, but I was addicted to it. Don't fool yourself, people. They want us to believe that the only people that are addicted are in Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Gamblers Anonymous, the anonymous 12-step paradigm. Bullshit. You could be addicted and just use a few drinks a week because it's a habit. You're creating a habit. Look in the old people's medicine cabinets. There's me personally, I'm really grateful for this. I'm not bragging, but I'm not on any medications. Do I want to take a med if I go into surgery or something like that? Or if I have some inflammation, I want to take an ibuprofen? Yes, I do. Would I take aspirin if I needed it or some type of prescription if it's going to help me? Yeah. Okay. Overall, prescriptive medications are bad. Okay. You don't think us old people, not me, not my wife, and not a lot of people that I know, aren't addicted to prescription medicine? Legal, this word legal versus illegal. Alcohol is legal. This cocaine is illegal. This drug, psychiatric drugs, psychotic drugs, they're legal. SSRs, SSIs, they're legal. That doesn't make it good. See, they created the same people that create the laws, create the diseases, create the illnesses, the DSM-5s, the psychiatrists that sit around the table. Wake up. So tradition says politics, no alcohol reform or secular religion. Don't talk about secular religion because Alcoholics Anonymous is a religion. And so is the cult of alcohol. The alcohol industry is a religion. We praise it. We love it. It's a cult religion. just like just like the government is a religion. It's a cult. Just like the religion is a cult. Just like the media, just like politics, just like red and blue. Divide and conquer is a religion to separate us. Same bird, same two different wings of the same bird we talk about. It's all, look, Bobby C is a puzzle maker. He's a puzzle. I put the puzzles together. David Icke talks about he's the dot connector. I'm the dot connector too. Okay. I like David Icke. He's been talking about this crap for years and years. Check out Mark Passio. Natural Law. Mark. Whew, man, when I started listening to him probably 10 years, I don't know, 10, 12, 15 years ago, my eyes started to really, yeah, alcohol. Listen, alcohol, They normalize it, they promote it, they celebrate it, they advertise it, they sell it everywhere, they serve it everywhere, they display it everywhere. Everywhere. Yeah, we're not, society's not indoctrinated. I'll get into that in another minute. I only have one couple more pages left. Please stay with me. Please. Alcohol is a potent toxic carcinogen, group one carcinogen, group one. Now, some people they'll shut this off quick. They don't want to listen to it. They don't want it because they're drinking, they're drugging. I don't care if you're drinking or drugging. I'm not telling you this to stop drinking or drugging. This isn't the point of this. I'm not trying to control you. Just listen, okay? Because maybe you could pass some knowledge on to your children or your grandchildren or a friend, okay? This Don't take it personal, okay? Yeah, don't take it personal. Don't shoot the messenger. It's just a message. I'm a philosopher. Yeah, y- y- we'll get into the psychiat. Oh God, I could do so many podcasts. One of these podcasts I'm going to be doing talking about the psychiatrists, the counselors, the group therapies, the harm reductions, the new mentors, the life coaches, the this, the that, the bup, 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 bup. It gets more. Alcohol and drugs problem it keeps on getting worse, not better. Okay. The 11th tradition. Listen to this. This is in Alcoholics Anonymous. Anybody that's in Alcoholics Anonymous knows the traditions, right? I mean, I've been around in there for over 30 years and I damn know them because I've studied them and see the cult mentality in all of them. Our relationship with the general public should be characterized by personal anonymity. Sure, personal anonymity. Don't speak out. Don't talk. Don't speak out about nothing. Just follow the repetition of the indoctrination through all the readings of Alcoholics Anonymous. Don't question. No critical thinking. Listen, 11th tradition. We think AA ought to avoid sensational advertising. No, they don't. They avoid advertising. They don't need to be anonymous because they let everybody else do their bidding. Okay. Like Netflix. Putting it all together, you put the pieces together. Netflix, the alcohol industry loves AA and Netflix. Remember? Netflix does the bidding. The courts does the bidding. The police, the doctor, the lawyer, the school system, the media, the government, they do the bidding of Alcoholics Anonymous. Oh, it's good. It helps millions, Bobby. Just like the people will go against me when I start talking about harm reduction. Bobby, it saves millions of lives. They'll come against me just like people in Alcoholics Anonymous will come against me. Have an open mind, please. Uh, our names, pictures as AA members ought not be broadcast. I'm broadcasting it. I was a member for 30 something years. I'm telling the world about it. Okay. About it all. Remember, we're changing from just deprogramming Alcoholics Anonymous to deprogramming everything. Film, members not ought to be broadcast, filmed, or public printed, or our public relations should be guided by the principles of attraction rather than promotion because they know everybody else is promoting the shit. Okay? They don't have to. Go into some of these spiritual uh, gift shops. There's one over there in Newport. I'm over here in Huntington Beach. There's one in Newport. It's huge. Everything is 12 step, this, that card, bup, medallions up the yin yang. There's so much stuff over there promoting the shit out of the 12 step philosophy. It's crazy. Yeah, we don't need to promote it. Alcoholics Anonymous doesn't need to promote it. No, we don't promote. No, but we send out all these people to all these uh, rehab, schools, public relations, courts, judges. We send all of these, how do you say it? I don't even know how to say it. I forget. We send out all these people to promote it inside alcoholics, but that's okay. We hand out racks to these other societies to show them. We feel it better to let our friends recommend their friends. Who's their friends? Netflix, government, religion, doctors, pharmaceutical. We'll get into that big NA. This is this mirrors NA, okay? Hollywood, government, media, the medical industry. Yeah, 10th and 11th tradition. I hope you're still staying tuned. If you are, please subscribe, comment. I don't care. Negative comments, positive comments, we'll take anything. Alcohol is a potential cancer, a toxic. It causes diseases. Alcohol, look, alcohol caused, Benjamin Rush had it right. He didn't say alcohol was a disease. He said alcohol causes diseases. Benjamin Rush, back in the 1800s, he had it right. He wasn't promote. Magnum Huss promoted the disease concept. He coined it, and they went with it, man. It causes diseases, cancers, damages the DNA, cancer of the mouth, throat, esophagus, liver, breast, colon cancer. Plus, the devastating consequences it has on society through domestic abuse, drunken driving, car deaths, killing other people, accidents, and themselves. Devastating. Here, we're getting into the end. Here we go. Stay tuned. We're going to get into the Sopranos next and how indoctrination that thing is. I'm still watching it. I'm on season 4. It's crazy. The stuff that I can see today versus 26 years ago, it's amazing. I was ignorant. Now I'm not. NA was founded in 1953, just to let you know. Are we victims of societal indoctrination? Yes, we are. 100%. Individuals whose beliefs, values, and world views have been shaped by institutions, companies, schools, governments, media, cultural groups like Alcoholics Anonymous, big alcohol, big farm, big tobacco. Listen to this. Are we victims of societal indoctrination? Yes, 100%, because the individuals, our beliefs were shaped. Our beliefs, values, and worldviews have been shaped by institutions such as schools, government, media, and culture. Specific ideologies without critical thinking, critical logical examination. That's how we get indoctrinated. I was just watching a Netflix, trust me, about the Mormon, where this one guy uh, became a prophet, and he had 15, 20 wives with little children. Wives, he married these little children and had he got busted. I think he's doing 50 years. Uh, this process often bypasses fostering a closed-minded adherence to certain dogma. Yes. Does that sound familiar? We're closed-minded. People will shut me off as soon as they hear me bad mouthing alcohol because they can relate to it because they drink. No big deal. So you drink alcohol. That doesn't mean you're not addicted to it. There's more people that aren't addicted that are addicted, I would imagine. Okay. To accept specific ideologies without critical examination. It promotes closed-mindedness. Alcoholics Anonymous says it's not closed-minded. It's open-minded. Yeah. Victims may include individuals or entire populations. Yes, entire populations. World population. Okay, who are manipulated into supporting systems that may contradict their own best interest. Our health, our morals. Yes, our health. It affects people's health. And the alcohol industry gets a pass through it gets a pass of all the devastating consequences it has on the world. It's true. Loss of autonomy, stigma, guilt, no critical thinking, disorientation, emotional trauma, repetition, constant exposure to a single viewpoint. Alcohol's okay. It's socially acceptable. Isolation, information control, limiting access to alternative viewpoints, framing outside as enemies. I'm an enemy because I'm talking about alcohol, the alcohol industry. And I'm an enemy talking about harm reduction or Sinclair method or freedom model. I'm an enemy, right? Because I'm bringing up some points. Yeah, I'm going to be talking about them all, which I should have been doing years ago. But I really probably didn't have the guts, okay, because I didn't want to offend people. Be as offended as you may, be as offended as you may, acknowledging victimhood. You have to acknowledge that we become, look, the first process of deprogramming, I have to acknowledge that I've been programmed. That's the first step in deprogramming. I have to become aware. Now I can inspire people to check it out so they can start deprogramming, but they have to do it. I've been hoarse this podcast. I don't know why. So yeah, look, victimhood is a complex process. There's no question about it. Uh, Victim mentality can hinder recovery. It can hinder discovery. I'm not a victim anymore of this shit, of this crap. Okay, I'm not powerless. I don't have a disease. I don't have a disorder. I'm not trapped in AA or any religion. I'm not labeling myself anarchist or atheist or agnostic or spirit, even spiritual. I'm not labeling myself these things, okay? Because as soon as you say it, they put you in a box. If you can't kind of if it doesn't resonate with you and you can't see where I'm at without a label, so be it. Recognizing oneself as a victim of past abuse or trauma is a necessary step for processing and reestablishing boundaries and healing. Yeah, it's a process of healing. It's a process of doing shadow work. We were victims of childhood abuse, just like we were traumatized through childhood abuse. We're victims of the alcohol industry's abuse to society. Okay. Yeah, we hold power of choice. We hold it. I believe in it. I talk about it all the time. This free will that is a gift of the universe. You want to call it God? Go ahead, because I don't like the word God because it's so misused and abused and constantly used. And as soon as you say it, people's going to think of this and that. I don't even use the word God. I believe in a higher self, a higher universe. I believe in higher consciousness. I believe in a lot of different things that is beyond the mind and body. Okay. Metaphysics. I believe in it. Okay. Holding the abuser, the alcohol industry, accountable for its actions and speaking out. That's what I'm doing. I got enough guts to speak out, and people want to comment and say whatever. Go ahead, you do it. Then you get on and start doing your thing. Okay? You want to talk shit about me? You do it. All right? That's enough about that. Why the alcohol industry loves Alcoholics Anonymous and loves Netflix. So that'll be it for today. And I'm back. Talk to you later. Let's see. How does this? Let me see where I get recording settings. That's crazy. Let's see here. There we go. Recording stop.